Welcome to the Planet Paintball Podcast, the ultimate podcast for paintball enthusiasts. Each week, we dive into the world of paintball, bringing you stories, insights, and tips from players, coaches, and industry insiders. Sponsored by 1023 Sportswear. Looking for high-quality gear that performs as hard as you do? Check out 1023 Sportswear. And as a listener of the Planet Paintball Podcast, you can get 20% off your order with the code PLANETPaintball. Suit up, save big, and play your best.
All right, welcome back to the Planet Paintball Podcast, Take 2, sponsored by 1023 Sportswear, your Southeast apparel company. For all your custom apparels, support the boys down at Bear Ridge and Southwest Paintball in Bayfield, Colorado. Out to Bayfield, Colorado, and tell John we sent you. Today I got Justin with me. Justin, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. Now that I'm not sweating, been outside all day in the heat, so doing pretty good now. How about yourself?
Doing good. Tell the people what you're doing, because you're up in Charlotte area, Rock Hill, right? And you own your own business. So let's give it a little shine.
All right. ProTech Equipment Services and Repair is my business name. Just started last year. I basically specialize in forklifts, maintenance, repair, service, whatever you need, hydraulics. But I also have ventured out into other equipment, skid steers, man lifts, the whole shebang, any kind of equipment. I'm fully mobile. I come to you, fix your problems and whatever you need. So if you have anything, need any help, give me a call.
Nice. And how far will you go?
I will travel up to 3 hours one way.
Okay. So
Yep.
that's
I've been in the industry this is my 11th year, and this is my second year owning my own business.
okay. Well, congratulations on that. It's always a huge step when you decide to venture out on your own.
Yeah, it was definitely scary, but I got to give a shout out to my buddy Dustin Airwood. He's the one that got me in the industry, and he also pushed me over the edge, is what I like to say. That way I can go do my own thing.
Nice. I'll shout out Dustin then.
Yeah.
Does he work with you now, or did he stay behind?
No, so funny story about that. Originally, I was in the hospital when he posted on Facebook. My daughter had just been born.
Okay.
She just turned 11 on Sunday, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So he posted on Facebook, basically, my company's looking to hire somebody entry-level position. Being mechanically inclined is a plus. You just need to show up and not be a jackass. And I kind of struggled with the jackass part, but I did show up, so I guess I made it. But yeah, I gave him a call and told him, and I went in there and they offered me the position. Fast forward to 2020, the beginning of 2020, before we knew what COVID was, before all that happened, it was, January 2020. Him and I sat down, and we were still at the same company, and we was like, man, we're tired of making money for other people. Let's go do it ourselves. And I ended up leaving the company, and we were going to start our own business together. And we all know how 2020 went.
Yeah.
COVID restrictions, shutdowns. Nobody wanted anyone in their facilities and whatnot. And I was struggling, honestly. Towards the end of the year, I tried to make it, couldn't do it. I went back to work with a different company and basically gave him the business name. And he's going on his 5th year with All Service Industrial, and he's thriving. When I was released from the company I was with, I was super depressed. I thought I was going to retire there. Super depressed and upset. And he took me out to lunch and basically told me, I got your back. If if you're willing to do this, I'm going to give you a nudge. And if you ever need help, call me.
Nice.
If you need financial help, I'm in a spot that I'm able to do that. And I am very proud to say that I've never had to ask him for any financial support since that happened. So thank you. We're both thriving. So he has his own business. I have my own business doing the same thing. But, like I'm going out of town this weekend, and part of next week, if I get a call, I'll call him, say, hey, go over to this customer, bill me, we'll get you squared away.
Nice. Well, that's really awesome that like he supported you like that, and that like you guys can do the same thing, have your own businesses, but also support each other, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine that's a pretty big industry when it comes to fixing stuff like that, and grow the pie, not worry about your slice.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing, I have enough respect for him, and he has enough respect for me. If I'm going into a company I've never been to, and I'm not aware it's his customer, and I find out it is, then I just tell him, "Stay with the guy you have." I'm not gonna step on his toes, and he doesn't step on mine. So just like what you said, we're both gonna eat, and that's our vision. That's how we see it.
Yeah. Yep. Some people would say paintball could learn a thing or two from that mentality. Speaking of paintball, we are a paintball show. So,
Yeah.
how did you get into paintball?
Surprisingly, it wasn't a birthday party like most. My mom worked with one of her good friends that had a son same age as me. Him and I went to school together from kindergarten, and he was playing. And he would always ask me to come out, and I never really gave it too much thought because I was racing. That's what I was focused on. I didn't care about that. And finally, I went out when I was 10. He took me over to the paintball spot. For all the OGs, they know what that is. It is currently PBC Rock Hill. It used to be called the paintball spot. Eddie Lawrence owned it. The kid's name is Timmy Rogers. Rest in peace. He took me out, and there was good teams out there, and I was very intimidated. I was terrified. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but basically took me under his wing and was like, "Here, I'm gonna set you up with some gear. I'm gonna give you some stuff. Just make sure you come out and have a good time and respect people." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool." So I went out a couple times, and it was kind of hit or miss. And Timmy and I basically were in classes together all the way up until high school. Um, and I started getting more involved with it. I'd say my seventh, eighth grade year, we would go more frequently because I would race like Friday or Saturday night and then go play paintball Sunday. But my biggest thing is I was so focused on racing. Paintball was just something to do when I was bored. We'd play around the house, I'd go out with Timmy every now and then. What really changed it is Timmy got expelled from Rock Hill High in his freshman year. So we had to go our separate ways, unfortunately. The reason he got expelled like the second day of his freshman year. He had a paintball gun in his car, and they would do random searches and stuff like that, security searches, and they seen it. And the dude was super naive to what it was and thought it was a gun. It was, dude, he got put in handcuffs. It was this big ass deal for no reason. It was wild.
Man.
Yeah. He had just got hired by Dirt Productions, and they were having him film some CFOA stuff. This was 03, 04 ish. So he was filming some CFOA stuff. They were kind of starting to have him travel and whatnot, and I would go out, hang out with him at the events and whatnot, and then it just kind of evolved from there. I kind of did things my own way. By the end of high school, Timmy was flying around the world filming for Dirter and all the Dirter movies and short bus episodes and whatnot. He was helping and doing production with all of that. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started up until high school.
Well, that is oh my gosh, sorry. That's definitely a unique one. And I didn't realize you and Timmy were that close together.
Yeah, it's funny. We were actually we were so close. So my mom would take us to school in the mornings, and his mom would pick us up because my mom got off so much later than his mom. You get out of elementary school like 2 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
My mom wouldn't get back home till like 6:30, so I just hang out at Timmy's all the time. But yeah, we were so close through school and outside of school. We spent a lot of time together. I called him my cousin. We were never, we wasn't related, but I just always called him my cousin Timmy. So
Nice. So my gosh, damn Mike Boom.
and your son, it's whooping you.
My gosh, it's killing me tonight. So you were racing and playing paintball. You have like super adrenaline junkie blood's going through you, don't you?
I do.
Oh. When did paintball become when did the competitive side really hook you in? Or did you go in and out of it for a little bit?
So it was kind of, I've always been very competitive to a fault even. And you've known me forever. It can really take control of you. But I've always been competitive and I enjoyed going to the events and whatnot, but I never really played in tournaments until I was in high school. I'd say my first tournament I was probably 15.
Okay.
And hell, I'd been playing for 5 years by then. But the thing, it was weird because I would always go out, play speedball, practice with the teams. I'd travel you know, to practices with a couple friends and whatnot, but I would just never participate in the events. And, I really think a lot of it was because the events were on Saturdays and we would race on Saturday,
Okay.
or we would race out of town on Friday and not get back till early Saturday morning. And, so it was just never really my priority, I guess you could say. The competitive side was there, but I really started playing like some one-off tournaments every now and then up at Glory Road. We would play, I think I played a couple at CJ's, I can't remember, but I'd say I was 15, so 2005, 2006, something like that.
Okay.
But it really ramped up in 08, 09, 2010 is when I really started getting into it and just strictly tournament stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, Glory's Roads for a while there. They threw a bunch of cool, fun stuff.
Yeah, they had the NCXL, they had a couple other things that I played. Me and Timmy played some events up there. Me and JR Whiting, we played a ton of events up there, a ton of three-man stuff. A couple other people, kind of from around my area we played. I know Brody and Justin would play some of those things. Brody Long, Justin Ainsworth from Breakout, and a few other guys, just from around the area, they'd play up there. Glory Road's very accessible, and they had a lot of stuff going on at one time.
Yeah. And someone corrected me that they actually held a 7-man at one point.
Yeah, so the NCXLs used to be 3-mans and 7-mans.
Okay.
And I think they would mix in 5-mans. I can't remember if there was some other stuff going on in between or if it was another series.
There was a Carolina Cup for a while. Larry Moats,
Yeah,
comeback.
I think
He ran them out of there.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So what would you call your first serious team?
The Wreckers, actually.
Okay.
2013 is whenever we would play at Palmetto. There'd be a lot of teams that practice at Palmetto. And Ricky Cantor, J.R. Whiting, and myself were all out there practicing. And Ricky come up to me and was like, "Hey, there's a 3-man coming up. You want to go play it? It's a CFOA 3-man." This is when they did the regional stuff. It was one at Greenville, where you're at, one in Greensboro, and then the Rock Hill event. And then you had to finish in the top 3 of each of those and whatnot. The field owner at the time, Fran, we all worked there just as kind of like bratty kids, antagonizing all of the people that come and paid to play. But yeah, Ricky come up to me. He was like, "Dude, let's go play a tournament." I'm like, "All right." It's 2013 and never played a tournament, but I've had enough, I felt like, experience, with practicing and whatnot. So we sign up and I talked to the field owner, Fran, and if anybody knew Fran from Palmetto, she is absolutely insane, but will give you the shirt off her back and do anything for you. So we told her what was going on, that we wanted to play, and she was like, "Okay, if you work a Saturday for me, I'll give you paint for practice the next day." I'm like, I mean, that sounds great. And we had to sign up under Palmetto Hills Wreckers.
Okay.
So that was the first one, 2013 CFOA. We had 2 lines. We had like 8 guys. So it was pretty fun. Yeah.
That was a fun little series.
Yeah.
Almost wish they would bring it back. I know we got a lot going on in Carolina ball right now, but it was kind of cool to fight your way out of your region or out of your local area and then go to like this big regional event.
Right. Yeah, and play teams you've never seen and you don't know how they play and whatnot. Yeah, it was really fun. We had a good time. We played those for years, for a long time.
So when did you guys take it past the 3-man?
So the year after that, I actually got picked up to play on After Hours Crew.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say I thought you had played on After Hours Crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I played After Hours Crew. JR, you'll hear a lot about that guy. Me and him's we grew up together. Literally, I've known him since he was 3. JR was playing with them and wanted me to come out and we made it. And, so I played the CFOA 5-mans with them and I also played 3-man with the Wreckers. And I did that for, I think, the 14 and 15 season. And then I'm not exactly sure. I think it was 16 where I just coached the D5 5-man line.
Okay.
And didn't play on it. So that's when I kind of branched out and did the coaching and playing deal. 16 and 17. 17, I really focused on building the team, wanting to have select players, build a team, and build it up from there. 2017, I got picked up to play with Atlanta Breakout in D3
Okay.
and MSXL, but that team kind of fell apart. So I really didn't have anywhere to go. I went back to After Hours and just kind of piddled around. And then 2018, I came back to the Wreckers and we went and played MSXL D4. So I moved all of the D5 guys up. I think I picked up 1 or 2 guys to play X ball. We had Michael Moore coaching us, and that's whenever Gonzo's Field was open. So we had transitioned from there to Gonzo's Field.
Okay.
And played a full season MSXL.
What made you want to start coaching so early on, or was it out of necessity?
I think with me and just my demeanor and my personality, I really like to help people. Like no matter what, not just paintball or whatever. I just really enjoy helping people. And I think it was kind of out of necessity to an extent, but I was hoping the Atlanta Breakout deal would lead me into bigger things and whatnot. I think it was just unfortunate that I got bounced around a little bit, or I didn't say, shouldn't say I got bounced around, that I had to bounce around, unfortunately. I was kind of put in some tough spots, and I knew I wanted to continue playing, and I knew I didn't want to give up, the Wreckers and the team and whatnot. I've learned, at that point, I had learned from some great people, team leaders, coaches, and whatnot on how to run an organization, and done some of my own things. But I felt like, Michael, unfortunately, he owns a business. He was having kids. He just couldn't commit to the time, and I was available. I was already there. I'm like, well, let me just player coach, with the X ball line. It sucked. It still sucks. It's not easy, but I guess a little bit of necessity and just my nature of being willing to help everyone.
Okay. Nice. So is that around the time that you kind of became the head of the Wreckers, if you will?
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. Michael was with us the full season. He couldn't do World Cup because he does photography. So as a team, we decided to go to World Cup and just play 10-man. We was going to go have fun.
Great time.
You know how it is. I mean,
I love it.
you know how it is. Our objective was go down there, have a good time, maybe or maybe not party a little bit while we're playing, and just go play 10-man speedball, and we had a blast.
It
There was
happens.
like,
People
there was like a
mistakenly
gazillion
put
teams.
stuff in the water cooler,
Once it was not me. It was a great time, man. We had a gazillion teams in the bracket, and I think we finished like 11th out of, I don't know, I think it was like 30 something teams. So
That's not a
we
bad
was
showing.
no, we wasn't mad, bro. We went and looked back in the All Americans. We ended up, I think it was the Open. The All Americans ended up winning, and we go, it was Ryan Moorhead and all those guys. I'm like, well, okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. 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 When you get beat out by current or former pros, it's kind of like, it is what it is.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So you come back from that year. So where are we at now, year
So we're
wise?
going into 2019.
Okay.
So 18, kind of got burned. I don't want to harp too much on it, but
Fair enough.
I got burned at World Cup. I got stuck with the paint bill.
No,
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened. So
that sucks.
I just kind of, yeah, I threw my hands up and was like, if that's how it's going to be, I don't want to be a part of it, you know? As a 19, man, it's kind of a blur, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I know I was playing paintball, but I wasn't like full tilt like I was, you know? I was so burnt out in 2018, or at least just from what happened at Cup,
Yeah.
you know, I felt I was pretty mad. I was betrayed, you know, all of it, all of the bad stuff. It sucked. But 19, I hung around. I played a couple of events. I think I put some 3-man teams in every now and then. You know, nothing crazy. And then 2020 to the beginning of 21, I didn't play at all.
Okay.
I didn't play half of 2019, all of 2020 until the 10-man in December.
Okay.
Shout out Brandon Chance. He drugged me out of retirement. So
Got you
I mean, he
hooked
kind of
back
got the
in, huh?
yeah, he kind of got the boys back together. He hit me up. He was like, "You can come play this 10-man in Greensboro." I was like, "Dude, it's gonna be cold,
It's
and
always
I am
cold.
fat now and don't want to move." So he was like, "It's all right." So I had a good time. Me and JR and Ricky and a couple other guys played. We got kicked out, so it was fun.
Hey, you had a really good time.
Hey, we had a great time. We got a new rule because of us.
Oh,
We got a new rule in the rule book. Yeah, you can't throw smoke grenades in
oh, that's
10-man
that was
anymore.
you guys.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I think it should be mandatory. You have to throw snow grenades.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Connor, Connor Dees, I believe is his name. His name is Connor though on Facebook. Dude, he chucked that thing and it was phenomenal. And the best part about it is Tyler Humphrey just grabs a smoke grenade and starts running across the field to try to get off the field and making it worse. You know, there's just smoke everywhere. So we still talk about that to this day. It was fun. It was a good time.
So they kicked you out for the smoke grenade though, or
I don't know
or
if they
other
kicked us
things.
out, but we did not get our scores acquired, if you will.
Fair enough.
So then 21 comes around, and I hit a couple people up. I hit up some old record guys, and I hit JR up and kind of drug him out of retirement. I contacted a couple guys. Matthew, I'm a butcher his last name. I know I am. DePola Yoshi is his nickname.
Okay.
Him and Jalen Seifert. He used to play for us. He played on After Hours. He also played on the Records. They come out. And Brody Long, I hit Brody up, and he gave it some thought and was like, "Yeah, I'll come out and play." And then he said, "Man, I'm gonna try to get Jake to play." So I'm pretty sure I just irritated Jake enough to where he came out and played with us. But we had a couple guys come out, and that's when we started back in 21. We started everything back, and kind of the same situation, man. We were back at Palmetto. Let me backtrack a little bit. Pete purchased Palmetto in November of 2020. He was a big influence on getting started again as well.
Okay.
So basically, the first practice of 21, we hit the ground running. In a nutshell, he pretty much was like, whatever you need, whatever it takes, I'll do whatever I got to do. You're going to be our home team. And I've never met this guy in my life. And I'm like, are you sure? He said, yep, I've heard enough good things from Brandon Chance. You know, we want to have a home team. I think you'll represent well. Let's get this going. So we started on a field that sloped down like this
Yeah.
with the water totes, and we did what we had to do. You know,
And now they got two airball fields or two fields for airball that are immaculate there.
yeah, that is true. That whole situation with the airball field was a 3-year project. Whenever we really got the ball rolling and Pete seen the potential, he pulled me to the side one day and was like, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on the grading for the field. And I'm like, are you sure? Yeah. yeah, I'm sure I want to have it. I want you guys to have a field, and I want to bring more people in. And I'm like, whatever I need to do to help out, you've been golden to me. I'll do whatever. And yeah, he got started with it, and yeah, that's how we got going.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. He definitely put a lot into it and got it done fairly quick.
Yeah, yeah, and then I hate I never got to play that Mounds field, and they took it out to put in the other airball field, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
also
the only downfall about what happened when they did the grading. If you've been around Palmetto long enough, that area is well known for not draining well. And the grading company said that it would be okay, but the problem with the Mounds field is if it rained for like a day or two, it would just hold water. Like you could fish in the damn thing. So it could never get played on because of it. So it was unfortunate it was like that, but I think they made the right call on
yeah.
putting another speedball field in.
Well, and with the C3XL growing, you know, hopefully they'll do 2 field events at one point or another.
Yeah. Well, I hear through the grapevine that there's going to be some more changes coming. I'm not sure. Don't shoot the messenger. Tyler doesn't tell me enough to get myself in trouble, and it's probably good.
But we'll have to check in with Tyler at the end of the season, get him to spill the
Yes.
tea.
Uh,
But kind of take us through the, because you guys kind of went on a little bit of a run there for a while. So kind of take us through that. And you went from one team to having many teams. And then even you had the wrecked out kids for a while. So you had like 3 or 4 teams under a Rutgers banner.
yeah, yeah. So 21, we like I said, we started out with I think 8 or 9 guys, and we had a core 7, which I think is pretty good. When it gets to these months like we are now, and it's 100 degrees outside, or it feels like 100 degrees with 100% humidity, you got to have more than 7 dudes.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate, we were fortunate. We grew. We were having a ton of walk-on play over at Palmetto, and we would be doing drills and whatnot, just with the totes and all. And the walk-on play, people would gauge interest, and we had some guys come up wanting to play, and so I had a 3-man team start as well towards maybe a month in. I think that was the odd year that the CFOA 3-man didn't start till like April or something weird. It was one of those years. I'm pretty sure it was 21. So anyway, we had a 3-man team and we had an X-ball team, and then 22 comes around. We had tryouts. I can't believe I forgot all about him. I feel like a god. Slip was playing as well. Chris Booker.
Okay.
Everybody knows him as Slip. Slip started with us in 21, and he has been a very critical part of the Wreckers. So he's helped out tremendously, and he's helped me coach, especially the 3-man stuff. So 22 comes around. We have the majority of people return. Breakout starts playing again. Brody and Jake go play with them, obviously. So we have people leave, kind of typical paintball stuff. But I think we had a group of 5, a core 5.
Okay.
I bring out a friend of mine, John Knight. I told him come to tryouts, show up. I knew what he could do. I played on his team. Carolina Virus. I don't know if you remember them or
I
not.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an older one.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So I was playing with him as well in D4. I want to say I don't maybe that was 2019. I can't remember, but I did play a couple years with him, and had him come out and his kid come out, Colton. Colton, he made the 3-man team. He was only 10. John played X ball with us. We played D4. And we had a couple other pickups, but we had 2 3-man teams, D6, and 1 D4 X ball team in 22. We played the CPXL the full season. We had a couple podiums, and I think, man, I'm getting my days or my years mixed up, man. God, it's been so much.
It blends together, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So I think 22 I had yeah, it was just the D4 X ball line.
Okay.
and the 3-man stuff. 23 is whenever we had the D5, 2 D5 lines. And I think I might be mistaken. Actually, 22, I did have a D5 X ball line. So we went from 8 guys to 25.
Yeah.
So we had a D5 X ball, D4 X ball, and 2 3-man lines in 22. For sure, I remember now because Pete had me do the Palmetto Hills Skill School, and I
Okay.
picked up a lot of guys from that. That's where Dev and Juice and all those other guys came from. So 22, we played full season. D5 did fairly well. I think they finished 5th overall season points. D4 finished 3rd overall season points in CPXL. We had a couple podiums in there and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty good. Then we went to World Cup and ended up winning that too.
Yeah. I forgot you guys had won World Cup that year.
Yeah, we didn't win under the Wreckers banner. That was a guy that me and Slip were playing 3-mans at NXLs for. We played in Philly for him and finished 3rd. And then the other events we couldn't make, but we made World Cup. And his name's Jason. He's out of Kansas, I believe. He has a field out there. Prime Suspects is his team name.
Okay.
So he hit me up beforehand. He still talks to me to this day. He hit me up and was like, "Hey, are you going to be at Cup?" "Yep, we're going to be there. We're playing D4. He was like, "Well, if you could play 3-man, if we win the series." And I'm like, "All right, that's cool. I'll let you know." Well, unfortunately, we kind of got the shaft on the 5-man. We ended up finishing 4th. We should have won it, man. We were undefeated in prelims. Went all the way to semifinals or quarterfinals or whatever. Had a very bad call that ended up going the opposing way. It cost us Cup. The team that won World Cup was a team that was local to here. They were helping us in the pits and literally saying, "You guys are about to beat us on the big stage in World Cup," and we just got screwed. I feel like
Sucks.
all righty, but yeah, I had a bad call, and we were all mad. We didn't even want to play 3-man. Slipping a couple guys went to the bar, and I was just stomping around pissed off, and I finally convinced him and Yoshi. I was like, "Look, man, we're on the roster. We haven't paid for it. We don't have to pay for it. All the paint's free. Why don't we just go have fun?" And this is the World Cup where they pushed it back because the hurricane came through.
Okay.
So we didn't start playing 3-man until 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Long night, huh?
Yeah, they had a rent. Yeah. So we went undefeated again. Actually, I'm sorry, we went 7-1 in prelims, and we kind of just was dicking around in the last one. We knew we were making it on. We didn't have to win it. We ended up knocking out the first place team in the series. So we were like, all right, now we got to get a little bit more serious because not only can we win the event, we can win a season title as well. Jason was there, the guy that owned the team, and he was like, "Dude, whatever you guys need, I don't care." So we just kept the ball rolling. We didn't lose another match until finals. We played until the sun went down, and they had to stop us and get lights from United Rentals and put on the field so we can see.
And that's not really seen. Like those quote
No.
unquote stadium lights suck.
So it was kind of good. We all had black. Jason got us black shirts from his field.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Worked out.
it worked out for us, but it was pretty cool. Me, Slip, and Yoshi have been playing together for a couple years, and we knew what each other would do, and there were a couple points we didn't even communicate because we really didn't have to. We knew what was going to happen. We knew what moves we were going to make and whatnot. It was just one of those where you can get in a true flow state, and we had that. So we go to finals and we play against Paintball Fit's team, which that's in itself, you already know. They're going to be hard.
There's no slouches out of that field.
Absolutely not. It doesn't matter if these guys, and they have one D4 dude and a couple like D5 guys, and they were really good. they gave us a run for our money. I think they beat us the first one. We beat them the second one. We tied, and then we tied again, and then it went to one-on-ones.
Okay.
Uh, I voted for Yoshi to play the one-on-one. He's got the best out of us three. He had the best sneakiness. God awful at one-on-ones. If I'm in a one-on-one, I'm probably going to lose. Honestly, I've practiced them. I don't know. I think I try to play a little too conservative, and I knew that, so I was like, I'm not doing it. We will lose this 100%. But
Self-awareness is important.
yeah. I was all good for it, man. I played my fair share of points. I played plenty on 5-man and plenty of plenty of 3-man. It was only us three, so we played every point. So it was going to be up to Slip or Yoshi, and gunfighting skills. I felt like Slip was by far the best out of us three. But as far as like sneakiness, I think Yoshi he had a little bit better fluid movement. He's smaller and whatnot. So I told him, I was like, "Why don't you do it? I believe in you 100%." And he took that real deep breath and was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Before he was going on, we loaded him up with paint. Before he was going on, I stopped him. I was like, "Hey, man, just get lost. I feel like that's your best bet. Just get lost." Because I knew these guys were good at gunfighting, but maybe awareness wasn't that great. A little less experienced than us three, and that's what he did. He gained dominance on him and kind of got a little sneaky on him and went and bunkered him actually to win the damn thing.
That's a hell of a way to win it.
Yeah, I mean, he just went and bunkered the guy, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And in one-on-ones in the NXL, you don't have to hit the buzzer; you just shoot the guy.
Okay, nice.
As soon as he shot, we knew he was shot. The guy never even seen him. He was looking the opposite way. We celebrated a podium with nobody watching. There was nobody there. We got finished. I think our match ended at like 10:30 that night. Yeah. So, but we did the full experience. We got our shirts, we got our banner, we got the cup. We drank the champagne out the cup, the whole 9 yards. We were going to soak it up. We had great pit help. Jason and Brent, I believe was his name. They stayed there the whole time. John Knight stayed there the whole time, and Juice was there the whole time,
Okay.
helping with everything. Man, it was great. We had a great time, man. It was awesome.
Man, that's a hell of a World Cup to win too.
It was
Because people like went down there and got trapped there and had to just stay right out the hurricane and then go play the event.
yeah. We thought so. I mean, when me and Slip specifically, but when we go to World Cup, like I mean, we go for a week, so we're there Monday to Monday. And we typically rent the same house in the same neighborhood. We've been renting from this company for years. I mean, we've got plenty of time to have a good time. So
No.
when they pushed the day back, we were already up and we're like, what are we going to do now? It's going to be pouring rain all day. Everything's going to be shut down. So we just cracked the fridge open and had at it.
Might as well. That's what the rest of Florida's doing, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, that's like if you're there, chasing wins and whatnot, not just going to have a good time, then yeah, that's what everyone's doing, pretty much. But I think we were up for almost 30 hours.
Jeez.
We woke up Wednesday wanting to go to the field. We didn't go to the field, and they canceled Thursday, so we just drank the whole time. And I think we were borderline alcoholics by the time we left because it is what it is. We had a good time though. We still won it.
So that what year was that?
22.
22. Okay, so
22.
it's hard to believe that's that long ago.
I know, man. It makes me feel old.
So what happened in 23?
23. We have tryouts again. We were going to do. Oh man. We were going to do a D3 line in Excel, and I was going to have a D4 line CPXL, a D5 line CPXL, and 3-man. I love 3-man stuff, obviously. That's one of my favorite things. So we had tryouts, and we went from about 20, 25 people to about 40, 45.
Other big growth here.
Yeah. But at this time, we had the speedball field at Palmetto. We had a home field. We have a ton of support. I had people helping me. Slip was a big part of it. Like I said, John Knight was a huge part of it, mainly keeping me sane and letting me vent to him. But no, he was a big part of, how everything should work. So we had the kids team, as I called it, which was wrecked out. We moved up some 3-man guys. We picked up some younger guys and started that. They wanted to. That actually was not even going to be a thing. I was just going to have those kids play on the D5 line. But then they had some other guys that wanted to play, and I'm like, okay, but we want to have our own team name, is what they told me. And it was going to be Lake Norman Blackout. They were already a 3-man team that we met, and they were practicing with us. And I'm like, well, if you guys want to be a part of us, I didn't necessarily give them an ultimatum. I just kind of gave them, you know, my opinion on it. If you want to get the deals, ultimately, our sponsorship and whatnot, then you need to be some entity of the Wreckers. I'm not saying that the kids can't play together or whatever. It would just be under that name. And so we kicked around the idea, and they was like, yeah, we'll do it. But what's the team name going to be? Because I told them, I was like, it doesn't have to be like Wreckers 2 or anything like that. It could be like the Kid Wreckers or Wreckers Kids or whatever. And they didn't really care for that. And honestly, I didn't either. And I was like, man, I wish we could keep Blackout. I'm like, well, what about Wrecked Out? And they all kind of chuckled, and I was serious. And they thought about it, so they left it up to Tristan. Tristan was like the leader or whatever. He was the captain of the team. Tristan was like, it's pretty cool, part of Wreckers, part of our team name, why not? So that's kind of how Wrecked Out began. So I took some younger guys from my 3-man, slid them over to Wrecked Out to complete the X Ball line.
Okay.
Then I had, Wreckers D5 X Ball. We picked up some new guys. We kept some guys. The D3 thing didn't work out. We had a coach lined up that just couldn't commit. And at that point, I said, to hell with it. I'm going to do it myself. I can't find anybody to stay committed or do it the way that I expect. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go full fledged. We had that problem in 22. We, we were going to do the D3 thing. And the week before we went to the NXL in Florida, the first one, he bailed on us, unfortunately. Whatever reason why, I was extremely mad, because we had done paid for all of the X Ball is not cheap in an NXL.
No.
We paid for flights. We paid for the entry fee. We paid for our jerseys. We paid the whole 9 yards. We paid for everything, and it didn't happen. So I was hot. I felt like he done us wrong. And I still, to this day, I haven't gotten a reason why. It didn't end on great terms, and I still feel like he done us wrong, We went down there. I sacrificed my playing time. So we had a coach. So we had someone running the pits.
Yeah.
And I still paid my portion because it's not fair to the guys, So 23, I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm not going to play. We're going to do it this way. Thank God it worked out before the season started. So we just decided to do a D4 line and 2 D5 lines. And then we had the 3-man on the side that didn't conflict. Wrecked Out came out first event, finished second. Strong showing. I'm like, that's pretty good. These kids have a ton of potential. D5, actually, you know what? I have it backwards. D5 come out and finish second. I apologize to those guys. They come out, finish second. It came out swinging. Wrecked Out finished like 7th or something like that. They struggled like the mid match type deal. Can't remember how D4 done. I want to say we placed like 5th or something like that. Yeah, we played the whole CPXL season. Wrecked Out become one of the teams to beat, and yeah, they completed the season, and I think they finished second overall. We never got the win though. For some reason, we never got the win. D5 ended up struggling towards the end of the season. They had some commitment problems, which happens. Everybody has life deal.
Yeah.
And the D4 line kind of had the same issue. They had not as much commitment problems, but it was becoming a struggle to get, consistent practice in. But the thing about it, the Wrecked Out kids were playing against the D4 line, and that's why they got so good. And they were at practice all the time. But it's much easier if you're a teenager or a younger person with less responsibilities, no kids and whatnot. It's much easier to go to paintball field every weekend than
Yeah.
someone that's 30 years old, 2 kids, a full-time job, or trying to run a business and whatnot.
Yeah. There's other bigger things than
Yeah.
paintball when you got the family and the business and all
Yep.
those fun issues.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So the
23.
23 season. We ended the 23 season and, we had to scale back a ton, mainly for myself. But also, you know, Wrecked Out went their separate ways. They wanted to do something different, which is, it's all cool. No hard feelings. I still talk to the majority of those kids. Some are not, or a lot of them are not playing, but some of them is playing D3 and doing their own thing. So going into 24, I didn't hold tryouts. It was the first time ever that I didn't do tryouts. I kind of hand selected people. I had several return, and I was really considering to start playing again. We had some guys lined up, and we had, we had a full 10. And we had a coach lined up, Brad Meads, that played for the Brooklyn Bears, and he come out and, he did a great job for us. The only thing that sucked about him, he lived 3 hours away, which was fine. We didn't mind paying him. We paid him. And we didn't mind paying for it. We wanted him there. However, life, a fiance, dogs to take care of at home, had a business that was growing, so he just couldn't commit his time. Not to mention he had his own deal going on with the NXL. So there was a lot of overlapping. So again, I tried to player coach, and it got really old with myself and with the guys. It wasn't fair to the guys. We had some people quit. I like to do things a certain way with the team and with coaching and whatnot, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent. I feel like that's the best way. And until I'm shown a different way or a better way, then I'm going to stand on my molehill. Some people didn't like that. I mean, that's fine. I respect that. That's just how I am, I like to do things a certain way, and I feel like things should be done a certain way. And I get it. I know people can't commit to a full time paintball deal, especially regional, but the way the game has evolved now, that's what it takes. It takes, double up weekends, 2 weekends in a
Yeah.
row if you have a layout to practice on. And it was just too strenuous for a lot of guys. So about midway through last year, we just not necessarily called it quits, but we definitely decided not to play the CPXL, and we were going to try to regroup before World Cup and see where we were. And you know, I was burnt out. I was trying to run a business. I was trying to run a paintball team,
Just
trying to take care.
essentially other
Yeah,
business you don't get paid for.
yeah. Was trying to run the team. I was also trying to work at Palmetto as much as I can to help out Pete and Tyler and Kathy and just whatever the field needed. And it just become too much. Honestly, it was too much on me, and I had to neglect something. And unfortunately, I neglected 2 things, and my business was one of them. So we got to about August, and I just told everyone, like, hey, if you guys want to continue playing, I'll sign you guys up as the wreckers or whatever you want to do. But I just can't be involved anymore. I've got too much on my plate. I had some personal struggles I was going through, and I mean, my plate was running over. I had too much going on, so I had to step away. Still went to World Cup, still hung out, had a good time, And my goal was to start the team up again, continue the team, I should say, in this year. But I really sat down in December, and you know, I realized what was going on. I had my core members had to step away. Slip is getting married this year in October. So he
Congratulations,
started,
Slip.
yeah, for sure. Slip and Haley, shout out. That's 2 of my best friends right there. So Slip was getting married in October. I found out last July. He proposed last July to her. So that's whenever everything started kind of snowballing the other way.
Uh,
I lost my right hand man essentially. John Knight, there again, he's always been a critical part of my life, not only the team, but my life and my daughter's life and whatnot. And, he's got his own business that he's got to deal with. I think he's got a couple, and It's his busy time during the summer, so he can't be driving to Rock Hill from Greensboro to practice or whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's hard for him to commit. So I lost that. And then in December, I lost another core guy, Nick. He tore his Achilles tendon. I mean, he played 2 weeks ago, and that's the first time he picked up a paintball gun since October of last year. And all he could do was play the back center. He couldn't do anything else, couldn't run or nothing. And that was like another core member, right hand man, but also one of the best players on the team. So I'm like, dude, this is falling apart before it even gets started. And I feel bad because we had, paintball dad was going to play for me. And I told him, I was like, dude, I promise I'll get you a jersey. That's all he's wanted was a jersey. And I was like, Giovanni, I promise I got you. And then all this happens. And I'm like, second week of January, I'm like, man, I can't do it. I just cannot do it this year. I look back at my books and I'm like, I lost a lot of money because I was flying to all these events. I was going playing paintball, dicking off, at the field and doing all this other crap, not just paintball, but other crap. And, if I want this to grow and to be what I know it can be, I look at what Dustin made of nothing, then I really need to buckle down and kind of get my shit together, honestly, is what I needed to do. Surely, as soon as I tell all the guys, freaking Chance Thompson from Breakout hits me up. Hey, dude, you want to coach us this year? And I'm like, why do you do this to me?
Just when you thought you were out, pulling you back in.
And I'm like, man. So I read the message and didn't respond to him. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't, it was probably a couple of hours. But the reason that's a big deal to me, and this is one thing I really wanted to be vocal about, is the Breakout guys have been near and dear to my heart since I met them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at and be who I am if it wasn't for all of those guys. So anybody that's been a part of Breakout, they know who they are. Brody, Chance, Ainsworth, uh, Jake, um, Logan Goldinger, all of those guys. Matt Sossaman as well, Justin Thompson, Dylan Holmesley, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some more. But like I said, they know who they are. They have been a very big part of my heart since I met them. I was a D5 just showing up when they had practice, and they would allow me to practice with them when they were playing D2 X ball in like 2016, 2015, 2017. I wasn't, dude, I wasn't great back then. I've never really been like the best, but, they allowed me to come out there while they're practicing for events and while they're doing all these drills with Sossaman and was having me come out with them. And that meant a lot to me, and anytime they would go to events, they would be like, hey, you want to go with us and help out in the pits? Obviously, pit help is great, but just being able to go hang out with them, they become some of my best friends. So, with that being said, to have Chance reach out and ask me to coach, in my eyes and my perspective, is full circle, you know? Um, so I had to tell him no. And that is one of the most difficult things. And it is probably one of the most disciplined things I've ever had to do as well. Just because I knew if I said, yeah, I'm going to coach you guys, I would be at the field almost every weekend. And then everything else would be neglected again. So I mean, I told him, I called him up and I was like, Chance, it means a lot. It means the world to me that you guys would even consider, for one, but it means a lot that you asked me. And I just told him what I had going on. I'm trying to get my life back in order. I'm trying to get my business where I want it to be. I will do what I can to help you guys, but I cannot commit to a full season. It's not my cards. It wouldn't be fair to you guys. It wouldn't be fair to me. Obviously, Chance is a very understanding guy. He gets it. He understands that life happens, and he wished me the best and wanted to make sure that my business was taken care of and my child was taken care of. So I still ended up going to Tampa.
I was about to say they suckered
Yeah,
you
yeah,
into Tampa.
yeah. So after I broke the news to all the guys and kind of upset everyone to an extent, I told them, I was like, I'm not necessarily done. I just can't do it right now. After that, Chance hit me up in, I don't know, it was like the beginning of February. It was like, "Hey, man, could you at least coach Tampa?" And I'm like, "Dude, I've never been to Tampa. I want to go." You know what I'm saying? So I told him, I said, "Look, let me check my schedule. Let me make sure I don't have my daughter because I only get her every other weekend. So time, that's a whole nother deal that was,
Yeah.
I was neglecting because I'd be at the field when I'm supposed to be hanging out with her and spending time with her." So thankfully, her mom and I are on great terms now, and we worked it out. The event did fall on my weekend, but we were able to swap some stuff around, and it all worked out. So yeah, I told him, I was like, "Man, I'll go down there. I'll help you guys out." They hired Gavin Stokes. They got him to be coaching full time. Gavin couldn't make it because of prior commitment, so I filled in for him. Wanted to help the boys out and make sure everything was good.
So how are the Breakout boys doing? I haven't
They're
checked in
old,
with them.
man. Yeah, they're old. Nah, they're all doing good. That's why I had to put my phone on do not disturb. They have an event coming up this weekend at MVPS. They're doing pretty good. Logan and Casey just had their baby, so
Yeah.
congratulations to them. And not too long ago, um, Brody and Mackenzie had their baby as well.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them. I know that's been a big deal for Brody and them. Not going too personal, but they've had some issues, and it's been a couple years struggle. And for them to tell me that they were going to be having a baby was a great thing. I was extremely happy with them. So shout out to them. But yeah, everybody else is doing good. Just trying to survive the heat. They had from my understanding, they had a really good layout practice this past weekend. So they're feeling real confident going in the MVPS this coming weekend. So I'm looking for them to have a gold medal coming.
Nice. And are they still practicing out of Palmetto or?
So the 3-man stuff is kind of taken over. But they were practicing with us whenever, when we had our expo line over there.
Yeah.
They'd come, we'd kind of trade off weekends if they were practicing for MVPS. We'd set their layout up and vice versa deal. But they're actually going to Glory Road.
Okay.
Tony's been helping them out a ton,
Nice.
setting the layouts up for them, and they get there, and they're able to have the field to themselves. And if they want to bring a sparring partner on, they can. But for the most part, they get really good looks and success out of practicing themselves. Um, and I think that's a little bit of what Paintball Fit does as well. They practice themselves the majority of the time,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. I believe there's a lot of pro teams that do that up until the event. They get one weekend. They want to get some different looks.
I know Fit only does divisional guys on layouts. They
Yeah, they
won't do
play Shut
other
Up, We're
pro.
Trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Damage also will not play other pro team. They
Yeah,
only want to
Damage
play
plays.
Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, they play my homies from Wrecking Crew. Shout out to them.
But yeah, we skipped over that. You brought in
Stevie.
Stevie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill me. I tagged the wrong Steve and I tagged him in something someone was talking about him.
Come on.
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah,
If you're
he gets
listening to
it.
this, hit me up, Steve. We'll do a show.
I'm gonna
Make
send
it
it
up
to him
for
just
you.
because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we thankful for BJ Manny's. He was real close with Stevie, and I took a lot of stuff out of the Wrecking Crew playbook in 23, and I was kind of kicking around the idea of having a pro come in because I'm pretty good friends with several different pros, not just the guys around our area, but T Harm is a good friend of mine. Marcelo is a pretty good friend of mine. BJ was like, "Man, why don't you just bring Stevie in? He does the same stuff that Marcelo does." And I'm like, "That's not a bad idea." So we flew him in, and we had a 2-day practice with him, and he changed the perspective of myself and the team, and it was super successful. The D4 line went from like 7th place, and then it ended up. This is one of the rare occasions that we we went to the finals and like to play for first and second, and we ended up getting a massive lightning storm. But we were undefeated up until that point. We got a massive lightning storm, and it started pouring down rain in Vietnam, and they canceled the event. And they said we would play the event, that we would play the finals on the next layout, which didn't make any sense to me. We all bitched about it. We all griped. We ended up getting beat by the Razorbacks.
Okay.
So Yeah. Now, we wholeheartedly believe we would 100% have won that event because we were so good. It was another one of those moments. It was total flow state. We were whipping everybody. And sure enough, as soon as it stops raining, we're getting undressed in the parking lot after they canceled the event. It's like sunshine, birds chirping.
Perfect.
Yeah, the bunnies are out playing around. It was stupid. We were just so mad on the ride home. It was stupid. But
Yeah, it's hard to like. I feel like it's really hard for the team that's in the driver's seat if something like that happens to
to get
carry
going
that
again.
momentum.
Yes. Yeah. It was difficult.
Yeah, because you're really focused on that event that you're actually there to play instead of the final. And it's just, but well, man, we stopped halfway through, so I don't
Yeah.
know how much
Yeah, we were just
time
talking
I've
about
been doing. We're just talking
Yeah.
at this
We were
point.
just talking about Breakout, how the guys were doing. I was just letting you know they had MVPS coming up this weekend, and they're going to be going down there and hopefully bringing back a gold.
Sorry, we blew up your spot, boys. Glory Roads Paintball. But so you're just taking a break, focusing on the business, family. You still playing every now and then, going out, or
Yeah,
is it too elusive?
I hadn't played since October. I started racing again,
Okay.
but I'm only doing it every now and then. Nothing like I was before. Like I was doing before, it was every weekend. It was a full time job, kind of like paintball. It's racing is no different than paintball. You just spend a lot more money, believe it or not.
Yeah. You would
So
think paintball's expensive. Go into
yeah,
racing.
yeah. If anybody wants to challenge me, call me and I'll break it down for you for 1 weekend of racing. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm really focused on my business. After Tampa, I've had opportunities to go. Where did they go? They went to Ohio, I know, and then where else? Atlantic City. I really wanted to go to Atlantic City again. I went last year. It was a blast. It's just like a dirty Vegas, which whatever. And we have dirty Merles, so it's the same thing for
Yeah.
me. But I had the opportunity to go to both of those, and I had a lot of work going on, man. I can't go to an event, spend a couple thousand, or work 2 days and make a couple thousand. It's kind of like a no brainer. And I see business for sure is all about what you put into it. Just like with anything, but the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. Uh, and I really try to stay focused on it, and not slacked off. And I've really focused on that. The good thing about me racing now, though, is I've got a guy that he owns everything that I race. Pretty much, he works on it. I've only got to go to the shop one night out of the week. I would love to go more, but he lives like an hour plus away, and it's just kind of a hard time to do.
Yeah.
Especially since I'm driving everywhere, working out of town. So I did go to the field about a month ago and went and played, and I've played almost every weekend.
That's it.
Yeah, there was a couple weekends I didn't play July 4th weekend and the weekend before that. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit, making people mad again.
Hey, that's part of the fun.
I do it. I just, I try to talk junk to people and antagonize them and, get a laugh out of it.
Well, and I think when I came back into the scene playing with Relapse, I think that the first event we had bumped heads a little bit, and then by the
Let's
second
go, Andy
event,
Vargas.
yeah, let's go Vargas. But by the second event, we were pretty quick friends.
Dude, yeah. I
Thanks
called
to
Andy on the way home that day. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
it's all fun.
It is. Nah, I mean, anyone that's known me ever, I like to run my mouth, and a lot of people take it to heart. And I mean, the way I look at it, you take what I say to heart. It's not my fault. I don't care. You know, it's kind of my fault, and also part of my good personality trait is, I just speak what's on my mind, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel like it is, whether you want to hear it or not. And I've definitely made a lot of people mad, and I probably got a bad reputation, from that. But at the end of the day, that's who I am, and I'm not going to change who I am for nobody. So you either like me or love me, or hate me or love me.
Well, I mean, I think it is what it is, right? Like
That's right.
it is what it is. I don't know what to tell people.
I mean,
You can either be
whatever.
butthurt about it or not.
Yeah.
I'll lay it out for the people. I won't name names, but Blake was coaching us at the time, and we had one of his custom guns go missing out of a pit. And you guys were right there with us, helping us look for it and find it. And when we found it, handling business,
I walked up in the pit and snatched it out from the table.
that
Is what
thing,
I did.
So, stand up in my book. Everything else is just junk talking.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't like it, talk junk back.
Yeah.
But since you're kind of in, or kind of out, but kind of in, I know you've been keeping an eye on it. What do you think of Carolina paintball right now? We got a lot going on. We got the Blitz, we got the C3XL, we got the AXL, which took the CPXL spot. That's the most events we've had in Carolina paintball in probably years.
Yeah, for sure. So I see this in the racing world as well, and the event side of things, I'm not thrilled about it. The reason being is because everybody's spread so thin, and it makes it look like it's going downhill. League-wise, if you look, I mean, all leagues have a history of being up here at the beginning of the season and then going down.
Yeah.
And, that happened in Brian Radford's CFOA 5-man. It happened with the hybrid when we try to get the D2, D3 guys to come out. NXL's thriving because it's NXL, and that's the only option. We see that in the racing world. If you have 3 or 4 racetracks within 2 hours of each other that are all racing on the same night, the only one that's going to be with the most entries is the one that's paying the most money. Because why would I go to this racetrack that's only paying $500 to win when I can go over here and it's paying $750 to win, and it's only 15 minutes further? Now, I don't know if the money is a factor in paintball. Obviously, prize money is excellent in anything. I think the C3XL, not just because it's Palmetto's deal and Tyler's league, but the C3XL is going in 100% the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that I disagree with, and Tyler knows this. I've voiced my opinion on it. But at the end of the day, it's his league, and it's his decision. And I support him no matter what. And I always will, because he's supported myself and my team always. And he's listened to what I've had to say. That's probably the most stubborn human being on the planet. However, he will absolutely do anything for you. So
yes, he will.
But the Blitz has a cool theory. It's cool the way it's set up and whatnot. But I just feel like there's too many hands in the pot right now. What I think needs to happen is one big X-Ball event or whatever league. Unfortunately, I don't know who owns and runs the AXL, but from what I've heard, I haven't experienced it, so I don't have a judgment on it.
Yeah,
but from what I've heard,
I have not played it either.
Yeah, from what I've heard from people, it's not great, and that sucks, man. Because that was like the transition time was perfect from going to standard 5-man to X-Ball. And Andy Potter, I believe is his name. I think that was the guy that started the what was it?
The
CSXF Speedball.
Yeah, Carolina Speedball player.
Paintball League.
The
CSPL.
Yeah.
Yeah, CSPL. He did the right transition, and it was perfect timing. And then Scuba, took it over, made the CPXL. And Scuba was doing all he could. And I mean, I thought at the time that was the thriving league. And, the 3-mans were packed out. How many teams did we have in D5 and D6? It was like 18 and 20 something in both of them in the 3-mans. And then you go to a D5 X ball and D4 X ball, and it's like 20 something teams in D4 and, almost the same amount in D5. And, I felt like it was thriving. I'm not sure where the disconnect came and where it started kind of taking a wrong turn, but I wish we could figure it out. I think it could be a little personnel. I know with certain leagues, not going to name them, but certain leagues, there's people that's running them that don't even care about paintball. And if that's the case, then let somebody else do it, man. Get out. Let somebody else grow the sport. And I seriously think that's why Tyler's league is thriving and growing like it is, because he truly loves the sport and he cares about the sport. And so does Pete and Kathy. So,
Yeah.
but in a whole, Carolina Paintball is still Carolina Paintball. We're all still around. Uh, some people's left the sport, but there's constant people flowing in all the time. So,
Well, on this recording, we're at 43 minutes, so we'll cap it.
Yeah.
Because I know we got at least 20 minutes on the other one. So,
well, good, because I'm out of water too.
I'm out of water too. So it's time to call it. Shout out whoever you want to shout out, man, and definitely shout out the business.
Yeah, ProTech Equipment Services. I appreciate them, of course. Boss man's questionable, but you'll have that on them big jobs. No, I just want to say thanks to everyone throughout my career, Timmy and Eddie, for getting me started and helping me out when I didn't have a clue what was going on. I forgot to mention Amy Webb and her team. Please forgive me. Absolute chaos. Fun fact, Amy is the one that got me hooked up with HK Army.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So shout out to Amy, Absolute Chaos, and Hunter. Everybody that's been in my corner the whole time. John Knight, Slip, Dev Volpe. He's newer, but he's always had my back. Nick Truesdale. Well, I know I'm forgetting someone, I always do. Let's see, John, Slip, J.R. Whiting, Ricky Canner. He's part of the reason the records even exist. As far as sponsors, man, I've been with HK since the inception. They, through thick and thin, we've stuck with them. They've stuck with us. No matter what, I can call Josh Howell right now and be like, dude, I need some jerseys for the next event, and he'll make it happen. I don't care what anybody has to say about HK. They've always done us right. So it is what it is. DLX, Smart Parts, they've also been with us since 2013. Same thing. Customer service is next to none. Shout out Sam Monville and Ryan Moorhead. Those guys have become really good friends of mine. We built a relationship and we've been with them for, 12 years now. So they've been great. Powerhouse Regulators, all of those guys over there, they've been phenomenal. Hey, Travis Lemansky over at Infamous, those guys, and Haley, I have to give her a shout out. She deals with all of my crap all the time. They've been great since we picked them up. Flow Paintball, Stevie, and the Wrecking Crew boys, all of those guys, always been in my corner since I met them. Still talk to them to this day. Again, Breakout, all really great friends of mine. And will continue to be great friends of mine. Hopefully, everything works out where we can play or I can coach. And lastly, Ryan Hoskinson from Aftershock. He races go-karts, actually. I didn't know that. I met him last year, and we got to talking about go-kart racing, and him and his dad become really good friends of mine. And, he's a part of Clatter Paintball, so that's why I wanted to shout out to him and Clatter Paintball. So, and that's it.
Nice. Well, hey, we'll see you guys next time on the Planet Paintball podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Planet Paintball podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Whether you're out there grinding in the divisional pits or chasing dreams on the pro stage, remember, it's all about the passion, the hustle, and the love for the sport. Shout out to 1023 Sportswear for sponsoring the show. Don't forget to use code PlanetPaintball at checkout for 20% off your order. Gear up, save big. Until next time, keep grinding, keep growing, and we'll see you back here on the Planet Paintball podcast